Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Nick Delgado with the Guam Daily Post, bringing you another look at your new digital election show, The Race is On. Tonight, another panel of guests, senators, hopefuls to be, are in the running to be your next senator, of course, in the 36th Guam legislature. Let's get to tonight's group. Starting on the left side of tonight's panel, we have newcomer Don Edquilane, incumbent Senator Sabina Perez, and former Senator Tony Atta. Hafa day, everyone. All right, so now to show you how this is all going to go, we bring you to the starting line.
First, our team of journalists are speaking with voters across the island. Voters will ask a question, then candidates, you get 60 seconds to answer the question. When the clock runs out, time's up. Give the next candidate a shot, or let's get on to the next question. Ready, set, let's race.
All right, now let's toss it out to our Heidi Eugenio Gilbert, who is in Dedido with our first voter, and their question. Heidi?
Thanks, Nick. I'm here with Diana from Jigo, and she has a question for our candidates. Diana?
How do you plan to improve upon Guam's infrastructure?
There you go, Nick.
Thanks, Heidi. All right, and we'll begin with Mr. Edquilane.
Hi. The priority of Guam's infrastructure would be the roads, the schools, and walkways, sidewalks, that sort of thing.
Anything else on how?
I'm looking up. I'm not sure there's enough money for the tourist attraction fund, but I'd probably look to Congressman San Nicolas to see what funding sources there could be from the Congress.
Okay, thank you for your response. Senator Perez, your response?
Yes, thank you for that question. As you know, infrastructure has to be funded properly, and I know these are challenging times to get the proper funding. But as you can see, some of our agencies, such as the autonomous agencies like GWA, GPA, they've actually have the ability to go out for bonds, and they are already have bonds in play that they can upgrade our water infrastructure, our utilities. And so it really comes down to funding and in regards to the infrastructure upgrades. But as you can see, a lot of these agencies have taken it upon themselves to create their plans, and they're already implementing them. And so it's just a matter of time before they can achieve these goals.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Nick. Hafa day, Guam. You know, the different agencies do have their own funding available to them. Special funds need to be used for what they were intended for. For like the highway fund, we need to ensure that the monies that are in the highway fund go to fixing our roadways. The secondary roadways, those also need to be fixed so that we can ensure that just not the visitors to our island can enjoy smoother roads, but also our residents will be able to enjoy the roadways in front of their houses being fixed. We see a lot of that going on currently, but we want to ensure that more of the infrastructures get completed as time goes on, and as funding becomes available, that we continue to use those funds what they're intended for. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much for your responses. Now we'll continue on with the next question. We'll take it out to Oya Niarikle, who's in Tumuning with our next voter. Oya?
Thanks, Nick. I'm here in Tumuning with Mr. Angelito Devas from the village of Dedido. Sir, can I get your question, please, for the candidates?
Oh yeah, my question is, being a senior citizen now, then probably I will ask what are their plans for, to help the senior citizen nowadays that the economy is too expensive, and even you're getting a fair enough share from your social security, then probably something more for the government of Guam can share it to us.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
So, Mr. Devas' question is basically, what will our candidates do to help our senior citizens through what is, for many people, a difficult time and a difficult situation? Thanks. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Zoya. All right, candidates, let's start your second lap. Let's start the clock. And this time we'll start with Senator Perez. Your response?
Yes, thank you for that question. So regards to senior citizens, I think, definitely we need to fill the gaps when it comes to, outreach. And we do have already the infrastructure in place. I think we just need to expand it a little bit more. I think caregiving has always been an issue for us here on Guam. And I think that's something that, with the right initiatives in place, we can definitely build our local workforce. I think this is something, in response to also the economic woes, we can help build our local workforce here by through GCC, through apprenticeships programs. I think those are really key to kind of bringing our economy back, and also in addition to supporting our senior citizens. So yeah, I think also, what we have in place as far as, also nonprofits. I think nonprofits in the community plays a role in addition to our government.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. We need to ensure that we start getting our senior centers repaired while they're not being utilized, so that once we're able to get back on track, our senior citizens can go back to enjoy the time that they had with each other, at the senior centers. We have programs available that I know that takes them out from the different senior centers to, like perhaps the museum. We need to ensure that we take them out and not just leave them inside the centers and enjoy Two Lovers Point, our own destinations here. But also we need to ensure that the meals that we have available, that we can ensure that they also get meals provided to them. There's a lot of things that are going on that has prohibited us from continuing programs, but hopefully as soon as this pandemic clears up, that we'll be able to continue those programs again.
All right, thank you for your response. And finally, Mr. Edquilane.
I think I heard the question. There was also included a question about Social Security.
He was talking ultimately, what would you do to help benefit the island's senior citizens?
Oh. With regards to Social Security?
Overall.
I know that there are some issues with Social Security that are treated differently within the U.S. I know that we have to look into that. Again, that's something that we have to work together with Congressman Nicholas, because that's dealt with in the national federal government. But nowadays, with this COVID pandemic, we're going to have to look for all sources of revenue, different revenue sources. But we really need to look to our Congress to see what they can provide for us. They have deeper pockets.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your responses. Well, time to make a pit stop. Here's a little something that we put together to help keep your candidates on track. This is The Race is On.
So I face the final
Welcome back. Well, now we are at the turning point. To take us through the final leg, the candidate will get to respond to questions put together by your news team. It's part of the show where the candidates are under pressure to get their answers out there. And for this one, we'll start with Senator Ada. First question, what specific action will you take to help the economy recover and diversify?
What we need to do is we need to start from inside, and we need to know how we're going to get our people reemployed. We need to turn around and perhaps, because the visitor industry has been impacted tremendously with over 25,000 of those people unemployed, let's look at the hotel occupancy tax. Let's look at reducing that so that we can turn around and ensure that the hotels can start to revive and start to grow again, thereby bringing back our people on board, giving them the jobs that they need so that they can keep their health insurance, so that they can feed their families. And that's what we need to do. Diversification is going to be a long road ahead of us because we need to start from the inside. If we can't grow from the inside before we go out, people are not going to come in. If we don't have restaurants to go to feed our people, we don't have hotels that they can stay at, we don't have entertainment centers that they can go to. So we need to really start from inside. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Edquilane, your response to the question again, what specific action will you take to help the economy recover and diversify? Microphone.
So our economic recovery necessitates streamlining government while managing resources and expenditures efficiently in order to continue government operations. Resources include critical source of revenue and tourism industry. So I have to agree with what was said, that diversification is important. KIDA should play a role in this. I mean, and GVB, we need to see what alternative sorts of tourism we can establish.
So the specific action you'll be taking if elected?
I would get a roundtable with GIDA and GVB and see what intelligent answers they have to we can try.
All right, thank you. Senator Perez, your response.
So I think this would require a multi-pronged approach. I think, for one thing, we definitely need our educational system to be diversified if we want to have a diversified economy. So that's one area. Another area I think is looking at public-private partnerships. One that, the issue is that we need to provide businesses to business. And if there's a way that we can bridge the gap between the needs of our government with the needs of our business sector, I'm very supportive of that. I think the other thing that we need to do is diversify our economy through tourism and localizing it as much as possible. I've introduced legislation that would help produce cottage industries, and I would continue to introduce legislation that is innovative in diversifying our tourism sector. And I have several ideas that I would like to put forth and implement, if not this term, then the next term, if the public chooses. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Next question. Access to healthcare has been a challenge for many local residents. In some instances, they can't afford health insurance. What will you do to improve Guamanians' access to healthcare? And we'll start with Mr. Edquilane.
I will look into finding ways to help our residents go to stateside hospitals where they can get specialized treatment. They have there's a program that I think, like in Hawaii, I'm not sure about California, where GMH, or they transport people from Guam to the different hospitals, different clinics. I know because I used to travel with my grandparents. I used to help them. They used to help upstate, my grandparents around Hawaii, the hospital clinics. Stateside treatment. I think that we can help people, our people, to find what they need. Different states. We can have partnerships.
Thank you for your response, Senator Perez.
Yes, so thank you. This is something that I looked at, and I was wondering how we can use an Affordable Care Act of, using that law and allowing for more access to our people. Ultimately, the issue is funding. We have to find a funding source for that, and so that's something that needs to be looked into and researched and addressed further. But I think ultimately, too, it's about pulling people together. Organizing people into pools so that premiums could potentially be affordable for the average person, and I think that's just some of the steps that we need to take. I don't have the full answer right now, but that's something that I am willing to work on in the near future, because I think this is very important that we ensure health for everybody here, and I think and with the work that I've done is just it's only started. So thank you.
Thank you. Senator Adda?
Yes, thank you. I think what we're going to see is a challenge coming up, and that's going to be these 25 to 30,000 unemployed individuals who possibly will be losing their health care. I think we need to turn around and see what funding is left in the CARES Act. If this second round of stimulus funding comes around the hill, that we set aside funding for our hospital, we set aside funding for ensuring that people can get quality health care here on our island without going anywhere. Because the challenge is when you're unemployed, you don't have the means to put food on the table, you're not going to have the means to afford health care. So we need to ensure that our people are taken care of, and we need to ensure that the funding is also set aside for that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all so much for your responses. Now to the next question. Are you ready? Dozens of small businesses have been forced to close their doors in this pandemic. What will you do to help small businesses survive and keep or create jobs? I'm going to start with you, Senator Adda.
What we need to do is start looking at we're at 50%. We need to go ahead and go to 100% and give these businesses the chance, the fighting chance, to turn around and make money for their businesses, and also so that they can bring back their employees. They got the protocols in place, hand sanitizers, face masks, social distancing. They got those in place already. Let's give them the opportunity now to turn around and make the money that they need to stay alive. Because the longer that we keep them at 50% or even less than that, more and more businesses are going to close. And once they close, it's going to be difficult for them to come back and reopen. So let's start healing the healing process by opening up even more and going 100%. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Edquilane. Yes, dozens of small businesses have been forced to close their doors in this pandemic. What will you do to help small businesses survive and keep or create jobs?
Are still working. The businesses that are still open, I think there needs to be an understood standard in place, and if they need help to maintain that standard with contactless services, with social distancing. We need to try to find a way to assist them, but we're already seeing some of, I guess, the larger businesses already showing a plan for how this can be accomplished. You see it like with the pizzas, the delivery. So I think if the smaller businesses can follow some of the rules that they're put in place, I think that they can function. It's really strange. I don't know why they're not
Thank you. That's your time. And Senator Perez?
So in helping out, we definitely need to give them a helping hand. And in my thinking about this, if it's tourist related, that's, we have to be able to offer them options. And we did pass legislation to assist them in providing some subsidies just recently. But I think in addition to that, looking forward, we need to think about the long term. So if tourism is not going to bounce back as soon as we hope it will, we need to start looking at other industries and providing opportunities for apprenticeships, any kind of incentives to help start up those businesses in a different realm. And I'm pretty confident that with the innovation and the spirit that we have here in Guam, our willingness to help each other, I'm confident that we can make the change, and so that they can stand on their feet again. So I'm open to a lot of suggestions from our community as well.
All right. Thank you all so much for your responses to each of those questions. We're getting ready now to sprint to the finish. Your candidates will get one more shot to tell you why them when we return. This is The Race is On.
For allowing me to sing this song, and Chelsea Cruz, who's doing backup and is one of the composers of the song.
Driving round, windows down, warm breeze and a soulful sound. I got my mind made up about where I wanna be. Can nobody take my home from me? There is no place like home. Sen quite a and I'm proud of where I'm from. There is no place like home. Palm trees sway both night and day. Paradise is the only way. I got my mind made up about where I wanna be. Can nobody take my home from me. There is no place like home. Sen guai za hao guan. And I'm proud of where I'm from.
Welcome back. Well, now that we took that quick break, candidates, it's your time to get us to the finish line. You get 1 minute again to tell voters out there why you, and we'll start with Senator Perez.
Yes, so the reason I'm running again is because the work isn't done, and my platform is about sustainability, and especially now during this COVID time, you know, we definitely need to work on that in many different facets. And so sustainability, what that means is not only protecting our natural resources, it's also about ensuring that our finances are handled properly. And as a chair of procurement, I've been deeply involved in that, and I have laid the foundation for change and reform. And I want to continue this work to ensure that our government is transparent and accountable. Also, I've done a lot of work in regards to protecting our natural resources. You know, I've introduced legislation to protect our water so that our water is safe to drink and to promote the health of our community. So I humbly ask for your vote this election to continue the work that I've been doing and to protect the public good. Thank you.
And Senator Ada.
Thank you again, Nick. Thank you to the people of Guam. You know, we're facing challenging times. We have hard times ahead of us, and we need strong leaders to make tough decisions. I've been there before in the previous legislatures introducing tough laws to protect our people. These next few months are going to be your toughest decision to make to ensure that you put in leaders that will be strong for our island, that will make right decisions for our people, to make right decisions to build our economy. I want to be there to help build our economy and take Guam to where we've been before. We want to be that strong island that we once were before. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any time that you need to look and search for your leaders, now is that time. And I humbly ask you for your support and your vote this coming election. I'm Tony Ada, and I'm number 3 on the Republican side of the ballot. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And finally, Mr. Edquilane.
Thank you. Okay, so I am Don Antonio Ada Edquilane, number 11 on the Republican ticket. I'm running for your 36th Guam legislature. I'm committed to being your senator. I humbly ask for your vote. Please vote for me, number 11, Don Antonio Ada Edquilane. Why me? Because I get a sense that people want to hear from their leaders. And the leaders, as good as they are now, I think there's a sense that we haven't heard enough from them. So there needs to be an ongoing dialogue, communication between the elected leaders and the voters, the constituents. And I hope to be that senator in the 36th legislature, representing you to have that dialogue, to communicate with.
Thank you so much. Well, there you have it. Newcomer Don Edquilane, incumbent Senator Sabina Perez, and former Senator Tony Ada. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And just like that, another round of the Guam Daily Post new digital elections show. Catch the show every Monday and Wednesday right here as we speak with more candidates. And pick up your copy of the Guam Daily Post and make sure to register to vote. Primaries are set for August 29th. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. This is The Race is On.